Hello, everyone.
We're live. It's crazy.
How are we?
At the same
So
time,
crazy
bro. It's so
at
cool.
this. Wow, the
Hmm.
syncopation is amazing. How
Exactly.
is everyone doing out there in the
Hmm.
Thursday night live stream world? We hope you're doing well. We are, um, we are the youth of a nation, and we are going live right now on Thursday to talk about some very interesting stuff. It's stuff that's gripped the internet. It's a deviation for the second week in a row of the topic that we've been loving this entire year, and it is AI. But this time, we're talking about something old fashioned, man. We're talking about
Hmm.
the Titanic, over 100 years old. You
Good
know,
movie. Yeah.
great film.
Hmm.
Turns out it was real, uh,
Crazy.
or at least partly real. But what we're going to talk about is actually something you're going to have to wait to find out until I hit record.
Hmm.
But in the meantime, if you jump on this live stream or if you watch it back later, leave us a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are. And if you're live with us, jump in on the live stream in real time and let us know your thoughts. It is the best part of this show that we get to do every single week. So, with that said, let me go ahead and hit this record button.
Do it.
I don't know why is this countdown now. All right, we're recording.
It's more
Cool.
official.
We don't even get a countdown for when we're going live. This thing, I hit record, which is intentional. It's like, okay, well, we'll start that in 3 seconds. Give me
Just so you know.
yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. Three, two, one. This week we're talking about kind of a tragedy, really, something that's gripped the country. It's been insane. The Titan submarine that went to see the Titanic,
Hmm.
ending in a tragic way. There's a lot of eyeballs on it, a lot of discussions on it. We wanted to weigh in with our thoughts and really our perceptions on a lot of the technology, and kind of the backstory that might have been lost in really the theatrics of what was going on. Uh,
Hmm.
but also just some really interesting unveilings from the U.S. Navy as far as what technology we have available to us. And it just makes you wonder. It's something that Dennison and I talk about all the time.
Hmm.
What this is the technology that we know about that's military grade is incredible. What about the stuff that we don't know about? And
Hmm.
oddly enough, through the surreal nature of a but billionaires going in a sub that's not really gotten thoroughly reviewed in its design, to go view the Titanic of all things, and then it gets lost. Just add on to the fact that the Navy unveiled some top secret classified tech that it owns, to reveal how this ended so tragically. So we want to talk about all of that.
Hmm.
It's wild. So let's go ahead and get into it. I got some Barry White action going.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Getting a little
yeah.
deep.
How you doing out there? Yeah. Oh man. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. This is a wild story.
Yeah.
Um, one of the biggest things to me that I read, spoiler alert for you guys. I'd love to get y'all's thoughts on this. But the owner, or I'm sorry, designer of this submarine, like, I want to say, I'll have to look it up, just so I don't quote this poorly. But I believe it was sued or something like that, fined for poor designs back in 2019.
Hmm.
And then people spent way too much money to go see this, and then they died.
This happened. Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, man.
Let's do it.
Uh, three, two, one. What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
And I'm Dennison.
and this is the catch up.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I got that American Dad chin going.
Yeah. Where it protrudes.
Yeah, it's huge, man, gigantic. Um, I'm having trouble finding that again. Um, but let's see, I'll find something that has to do with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
I'm
Do it.
searching live on air. All right, three, two, one. Before we get into our topic, we want to remind you guys of it's our favorite part of the show, just for the antics. Three most popular ways to support this show, and most effective, by the way. Number one, please leave us a rating. There's your, there's your one. Please leave us a rating review. Let us know, what you think of the show, wherever you listen, wherever you watch. It really helps us know how we can improve if we need to improve, and helps us grow with every push of that button. It tells the algorithms, hey, let's share this with more people. Number two. Wow, two of them now. Jeez. Please jump on the live stream with us. We're live on Facebook right now. We go live every Thursday night, and it's a great way for you to jump in on the discussion with us in real time. And we get to have a little behind the scenes action as well. But we want to hear what you thought about or think about our topics as we discuss them in real time. And number three, what? Why do you have three of those? Um, number three is if you want to support us financially, wherever you're watching is linked to our shop. We have some good clean merch. Our sale just delivered. The sale we talked about last week, it just delivered. And so we're really excited about that as well. So please check that out. You might find something you like. And there's what would you say, Denson, between 1,000 and 1,500 different color options?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
There's a lot of color options. So please check it
Exactly.
out. Get it off our hands.
You'll find something that you'll like.
I had to rent a second apartment just to store all that crap. Okay. So please buy another one. Please buy
Exactly.
more.
We don't have the space.
We don't have the space. I'm spending money just so you can spend money. That's messed up, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to do that. You don't want to make me do that. No, I'm just playing. Actually, true story. It's very cool how this works. In case you're an aspiring, self-employed entrepreneur, we go through Printful, and so we don't actually have any inventory. Once you start regularly moving clothes, then it's a good idea to have your own inventory. But when it's
Mm-hmm.
sporadic or when you're small, it's great to do what they call drop shipping. And so you place an order, and wherever that shirt is sourced from, the factory prints the design on it and
Mm-hmm.
then sends it out to you. So it's very cool, very automated. In fact, it's actually where most of the money goes. So it's a weird gatekeeping kind of a thing
Yeah,
to get to that
exactly.
next level. But anyway, bro, why don't you kind of start us off with, I guess, just your thoughts about this situation. It's so crazy, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is it's really interesting. Because you've got this submarine that was, like you said, designed by this one guy who has not had the greatest track records when it comes to like actually designing submarine hardware. Um but and it's a weird looking subs. If you've seen it before, it kind of looks like a, I don't know, it kind of looks like a pill. a pill with like
It's
legs on it.
yeah,
um,
yeah, or a toboggan really with rails on it, you
oh
know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
could see that. Yeah, like a fully enclosed toboggan. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
So it's not exactly the most flattering piece of equipment out there, right? And it is a little bit confusing on like how it like the propulsion system and stuff like that. But um so you have these I think it's what was it, a five-man crew. I think it was like four, I think, of the passengers, and then one which was the CEO, or no,
Yes.
three passengers, I think, and two were one was the CEO and another one was like one of the operators or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that's right, yeah.
um
The crew included billionaire explorer Hamish Harding, French diver Paul Henry Nargiolet, and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his son. So yeah, that's
okay,
what, one, two, three, four. Yeah.
okay,
So then the other would
four
be the
passengers.
captain. Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of it's kind of crazy,
It's cramped in a place like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like the size of a van. So, you're not really it's not the most spacious
Well, it was bigger than
interior.
that. It was bigger than that actually. So I was trying to think about this. So it's 22 feet long,
Mhm.
9 was it 9 feet tall, 7 feet wide.
Okay.
So it's not super cramped, but it's not necessarily cozy either, you know.
Yeah, well, but is that the interior space?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. No worries. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. It's not super cramped, but it's still not like, you don't have like a suite with you.
Hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's not like it's the Hilton Inn, under
Yeah,
the sea.
exactly.
It's not the
Exactly.
Little Mermaid Hilton.
Yeah, and I think the seats were like, I don't know, like 100K, wasn't it? Something like that.
Oh man. Oh no, actually 250K.
250K for something so small. um
Which actually, can we stop there for a second? I wanted to ask what you thought this is. What's the draw? Is it to say, hey, I was in a tank right next to the Titanic?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's to say I got to see the Titanic with my own two eyes instead of watching it through like a video of like a robot going through.
I get it. And I inherently I get it to an extent, but like with the risk involved, don't you think it would be like
What's the point if there's no risk?
I get it, but no, I hear you. I hear you definitely. But with that risk involved, me, I'd be like, look, I'm either looking at it through a bowl-shaped glass or I'm watching on high definition TV. Which one would I prefer? Probably the freaking TV. Because to me, bro, just like I don't want to be the first person to go into space that's not an astronaut, I'm not trying to go 13,000 feet below sea level.
Where
I'm
it's
not
dark,
trying
dark.
where it's dark and
Mm-hmm.
you implode. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. The pressure itself will mess you up.
Yes. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I keep looking. I keep trying to find the details on the person that designed it. I can't find that again, but I definitely know for a fact I was able to I found that. I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
But you think about this too, right? So wow, they were using a C-130 to try and find this shit, this submarine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about this, like, uh, well, actually, to be honest, I lost where I was going.
No
Uh,
worries. I mean, I think I remember reading an article about one of the guys also being on the um Blue Origin flight up into space. So, I mean, everybody who was on there had a lot of money. So for them, I would imagine it's just, the next thrill to seek or to use or something similar to that. Um,
Well, if you are the type to pay that to get on the first commercial flight to space, then absolutely, man, $250,000. If you paid to go to space and you're that type of mentality, of course I'm dumping 250K to go see the Titanic.
exactly, exactly. See it first with my own two eyes. And again, it's an experience that no one else can like get close to or come close to, you
Right, but
know?
if you think about this, right, when the location of the Titanic was discovered,
Mm-hmm.
it was discovered by a robot, right?
Yep.
Well, not by a robot, but through a robot.
Yep.
When it was 3D imaged, which was just a couple of years ago, think about that. These people said, "I'm gonna go in a homemade submarine, right,
Mm-hmm.
to go visit the Titanic." That didn't even have a 3D image of what the wreckage looked like until 2 years ago. It was 2 to 4 years ago, somewhere in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But these people are like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go see it." In that 3D image done by a robot submersible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the answer to this is, but how many human driven, if you will, submersibles have actually gone to the Titanic? 13,000 feet is deep,
Is
very,
very deep. Is very deep.
very.
And the ocean starts doing weird stuff once you get that far down.
We don't even know what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't even fully know. You know, so I'm getting hyped up over here.
You're passionate about this Titanic crash, man.
Dude,
Or
I'm
or
passionate about the ocean too.
seal. I mean, the ocean's kind of creepy, man.
We've only mapped out 20% of the ocean.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a huge portion of our world that we just have very little information on.
There's probably entire species we don't even know exist. You know,
Most likely.
like the megalodon. Jason Statham tried to warn us, but
Exactly.
we didn't listen. So now there's a sequel.
Exactly. Now the megalodon's coming back
Mm-hmm.
to take its revenge.
Mm-hmm. I know. So these idiots set off, right?
Mm-hmm. These
But
thrill seekers.
yes. Um. So hour 15 into the dive, they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Um. I want to know if I can find this out. If we can estimate at that level how deep they were by the
Mm-hmm.
time they imploded. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
I'm sure there's some calculations out there somewhere where
because
someone's
you
done
just
something.
yeah, you can't go straight to the bottom. You
Nope.
have to go to a certain depth, adjust pressure, let your body adjust, then go to another depth. You can't just go all at one time.
Exactly, exactly. It's the same reason why you can't go like from a deep dive back up to the surface super fast. You have to give your body some time to adjust, otherwise you'll die from the bends.
Right. Let's see if we can figure this out. Can we calculate at what depth the Titan would have imploded? Um, if uh, if it imploded as soon as it lost contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Asking our good friend ChatGPT this. So friend of the
Okay.
show, ChatGPT.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Um,
Number
I,
one supporter.
we had to get AI in here somehow. The depth at which a submarine would implode due to pressure depends on a variety of factors, including the submarine's hull strength, the pressure in the ocean. I guess it's kind of interesting information I could share.
Mhm.
The pressure in the ocean increases by about 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters of depth,
Oh,
with
wow.
1 atmosphere being the atmospheric pressure at sea level. So every 10 meters you go down, there's tick, tick, small little ticks, you know.
Mhm.
Titan submarine lost contact approximately 105 minutes into its mission. Given that it typically takes 2 hours for the Titan to reach the Titanic wreckage, which is about 4,000 meters beneath the ocean surface, um, it actually did solve this, dude. That's
That's
amazing.
crazy.
Let
Okay.
me keep, yeah, let me keep reading it. Given that it typically takes about 2 hours, 120 minutes for the Titan to reach the Titanic wreckage, which is about 4,000 meters beneath the ocean surface, we can estimate the depth at which the Titan was when it lost contact. If we assume the sub descended at a constant rate, we can calculate the approximate depth at the time of loss of contact as follows: 105 minutes divided by 120 minutes times 4,000 meters equals 3,500 meters. So it's about 500 meters off, which I want to ask because I don't know this. How many meters or how many feet is that?
Do a
um,
quick conversion for you.
yeah. Um, so it says, please note this is an estimation. The exact depth at which the Titan imploded could vary depending on many factors. Um, yeah. So 11,000. Wow. They were deep, man.
That's really deep.
11,483.5 feet deep.
Man, that's
Can we just can we just
that's
pause
crazy.
and go back to our regularly scheduled programming for a second? AI is amazing.
It is. It is.
We
It's pretty dope.
It knows the schedule of the Titan submarine, and thus we were able to calculate at what depth it likely imploded. That's insane.
Yeah.
So this thing has run multiple trips to the Titanic, then, right?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
It's because this company's been around for a little bit. So they've been doing this um relatively like normal cadence or whatever like that, you know.
Mhm.
You know, when you
Okay.
cater to the filthy rich. Because that's the other thing, right? You have to in this scenario, you literally have to have um it's crazy. You have to have 200,000 dollars as disposable income, just like regular disposable income, just to have it ready to go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's insane.
Oh, I know. Man, imagine there's no insurance policy that covers that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, but in all seriousness, that's actually longer to go down to that depth than I thought it was.
Yeah.
2 hours, right? Rough estimate. Can you imagine, especially when you get past, because a lot of things go 4,000 feet below sea level.
Mhm.
It's like a typical submarine, like 4,000 to 8,000 feet. You know, whatever. Pretty typical. Am I right?
Mhm.
I believe it
Yeah,
is.
I think you're right.
Yeah, 8,000 to 11,000 feet, taking roughly 30 minutes of that trip. But let's say it's not this tragic one. Let's say it's a normal one, 8,000 to 13,000 feet, taking about half of that trip down. Can you imagine the things they see there?
I mean, it'd be like a whole nother world, man.
If anything at all, maybe they don't see anything. Maybe they just see water
That's true.
or,
Just the
or a
blackness of water.
dark void. Yeah, man. God, dude.
Well, just to think about it, like of just looking down into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, that's the thing, right? It could be perfectly super bright, sunny, but at that depth, right? It's just dark.
Yep,
Like
it
you're
is.
coming out with flashlights and it's like 12.
Mhm,
12
mhm.
a.m. or sorry, 12 p.m.
Yeah, right. Well, I think I should explain why I'm so intrigued by this story. With my journalism background, longtime viewers of this show know. I used to work in the news.
Mhm.
With that said, I mean, it's so tough to say this when people's lives were at risk, and obviously, and so tragically, there's so many weird and unique and interesting turns to this. I mean, the general public didn't know this service existed. You know, they didn't. There's a whole ship that goes out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and drops a submarine in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. We didn't know this happened. So
Yeah.
you have this happening. You have billionaires inside of this submarine. It
Mhm.
disappears. They don't know where it is. There's a search, multiple different countries searching for it,
Mhm.
because it's international waters. So people are chipping in, which is awesome, super great. But then you have the Coast Guard returning to shore to bring out new technology, but the technology is not getting there as fast as people thought it should, and they didn't know why. And
Mhm.
it turns out because the Navy knew the second that they died, and they
Which
died
is
from it being an implosion.
yeah. Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, it's insane because this came out today, and I mean, it still is top secret information, but they were able to share that they have things in the ocean that act as microphones, and they could tell by the sound waves that it was an implosion. So, thanks to our calculations, these uh, microphones can work to at least 11,500 feet under the ocean, man.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
That's insane.
Like like I mean, like you can't escape that essentially.
No,
It's
you
like an
can't
all
escape.
powerful mic.
They use it obviously to track enemy submarines that get close to the eastern seaboard, which happens a lot. I remember reading about that several times when I was working in the news.
Mhm.
Um,
You got
Man,
submarines out here trying to outdive the other.
yeah, I'll dive them,
You
and
yeah, you get
and
you
that's
get deeper and deeper.
and that's the thing. We must have submarines that can go on the ocean floor at that level. There must be, because technology has advanced so much across the board, and my knowledge of submarines I shared 5 minutes ago was based on the Hunt for Red October, which came out in the late 80s, or actually came out in 1990. so, so I'm sure sub technology has advanced since then, you
Oh
know?
yeah, oh yeah. No, it has to because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, we've already gone down to the Marianas Trench, which I think is deeper than the shipwreck of the Titanic. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, no. So for sure, we we can. There has to be like submarines that can easily um, get down to the that depth.
But that was a robot, wasn't it? Was that a robot that did the Marianas Trench?
No, no, I think the first one was actually a manned submarine. Like it was way back in the way.
Nope.
Nope.
Uh, I ain't going down the Marianas Trench. Find all that the super squids and because they say that there's that giant squid that could eat a whole ship, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The colossal squid. It's not
Yeah.
a giant squid because the giant squids are smaller. You got the
Right. Right.
colossal squids, man. Those are the things that are attacking freaking sperm whales.
Really
Yeah, man.
weird. I'm not going to comment on that. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I want to see. So yeah, they haven't systematically done it. As humans, we are unable to venture very far into the Mariana Trench due to the bone crushing pressure deep beneath the ocean surface, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I
So
mean,
I have to.
it's like I mean, it's like having a whole boat like just thrown on you.
Yeah, Okay,
That's the pressure, man. It's terrible.
why does this say depth James Cameron reached? Sorry, guys, we're learning as we go.
It's because I
Did
think
James
James Cameron.
Cameron, the filmmaker, go into the Mariana Trench?
I think so. I think I remember hearing about that. We might have actually even. No, no, I don't think we talked about it, but I think I remember hearing about that.
Holy crap. So he got 35,756 feet below sea level, dude. 3 times what we're talking about right
Mm, that's crazy. And he
now.
survived.
Yeah.
He made it back.
Yeah. they, but if you think about it, he started making really bad movies right after that.
So maybe he didn't really make it.
Avatar: The Way of the Water right after this? Come on. Um,
Crazy. There it
yeah.
is.
Sorry, it's taking down a little side path, but director and explorer. I didn't know he was an explorer. I didn't know that.
I mean, when you got that kind of money, I'm sure you become an explorer of some
Mhm.
sorts. I'd
So
become an explorer.
yeah, he was in a 24-foot submersible vehicle and went straight to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
See, told you.
Apparently,
We got down there. They just put their eggs in the wrong basket.
what do you mean?
Oh, the crew of the Titan.
Oh, yeah. Well, um, and then yeah, the U.S. Navy had something. Whoa,
Yeah, way back when.
in the 1960, dude.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's the one that I remember the most. Like it was like old, old,
If I'm not mistaken,
and we dove down there.
yeah. I mean that I couldn't do that. Yeah. So they do that 6 years after 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea comes out, the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, dude, I just no, this gigantic alien's gonna eat me, dude. Like, I didn't know James Cameron did that. Shout out to James Cameron. Maybe y'all all learned something with me, or maybe I'm the only one that didn't know that. But that's amazing, though. That really is. Um, okay, so back on this story, the other factor of it that makes it unique, obviously, is the Titanic. Which, speaking of
Mm-hmm.
good old James Cameron, made forever embedded into our consciences, if it wasn't already, through that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true. The two taper.
yeah,
Actually, was it two or was it three? I think it was just two tapes.
you have to have two cassettes.
Two VHS tapes, man.
Yeah,
Back in
two.
the day, man. When we remember when we actually had VHS.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, this is a small tangent, but yeah, it's
Oh, I
crazy.
remember, dude. I remember. I actually remember for my graduation gift of high school, we went out to Colorado to go skiing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all my because we stayed in my aunt and uncle's condo, and all they had
Mm-hmm.
was a VHS player. So we watched Dances with Wolves and A Few Good Men, which are two of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
But we watched it on VHS.
Hey.
Dude, yeah. I had VHS tapes forever, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. My parents still have VHS tapes.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
We got a whole closet full.
Oh man. Yeah, shout out to
Which
that.
yeah, I mean, which I guess technically we need to convert them
Hmm.
because the magnetic strips I think are only technically good for like 25 years.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
And
my
they start
my
to degrade.
my parents did that with our home videos. We have them all on mini DVD now. Um,
Ah, nice.
which is nice. Yeah. Basically the size of a GameCube disc.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of a GameCube, that's the controller is basically what the pilot or the captain used to pilot this submarine, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was like a PlayStation controller,
It
like
was a
an old
PS4
PlayStation. Yeah.
controller. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I get it. It's done multiple trips down to the Titanic. Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
But if I stepped inside that thing and I spent, even if I spent the money on it, I spent 250K on this thing, and I see that they got PS4 controller hooked up to this joint, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Keep the money.
You're not gonna be like, pass me the sticks, bro.
No, no,
You gotta
no,
have entertainment on there somehow, man.
no, man. Imagine DualShock 4 battery getting low.
Yeah, exactly.
DualShock 4 disconnected. Oh Lord.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I
no.
don't need the vibrations. I'm on the sub.
Yeah. Turn the active reflex off or whatever it's called. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. There's so many things that make this story interesting and unique, but definitely the biggest one to me has to be that Navy technology, which they haven't really shared a whole lot of. I had some information for it over here. Let's see. Where'd it go?
No, clicked away.
I think it's up here. Um, yeah, challenges in gathering specific details on how the Navy confirmed the sub had imploded due to technical issues with the research tool, which is ChatGPT's research tool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I find that technology very fascinating. It makes you wonder what else is going on down there. I wonder if there's things different than submarines. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I imagine there is, like, full
But
on like spaceship type stuff, but it's underwater.
like different crafts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some conspiracy theories that say that aliens are actually under the water.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm well aware.
Yeah, they've got
That
spaceships popping out the water, doing stuff like whole civilizations out there.
popping out the water. uh, what was that movie with Ed Harris, dude? That was a plot of a whole movie, man.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kind
it
of like
was.
yeah, it's kind of like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, um but yeah, the whole thing is there's an entire alien civilization down there that just wanted peace, but basically them drilling down there for some sort of rare material was
Mm-hmm.
disturbing the aliens and everything. It was actually an interesting movie.
It was. It was an interesting movie.
Hmm.
I remember when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of boring, but because it was
I did
weird,
too.
because they had to do the only interesting thing about it was I think they had to like um they used some weird fluid for them to breathe like underwater or something like
Oh
that
yeah.
because of the depths. they
Mhm.
they couldn't use oxygen, so they had to like use some weird fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind
I
of
can't
remember
believe I
that.
remember that, but yeah.
Damn, that was weird. Yeah, but I do know that. I guess it depends on if they're you know, if it's led by Namor or not. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man.
I
I
don't
guess I
know.
can see that. Here, I got some more information.
Okay.
The Navy deployed the Curve 21, an unmanned submersible vessel
Oh,
capable of reaching a depth of 20,000 feet. That's pretty amazing.
that is.
To assist in the search for the missing submarine. It's called the Curve. I wonder what the Curve 1 through 20 looked like.
I know.
Upon confirming the sub's implosion, the Navy quickly acted to locate and recover the vessel. Um, using a deep sea vehicle called Alvin. Alvin is one of the world's deepest diving manned submersibles. Manned submersibles. Wow.
Mm,
Um,
look at
capable of.
Alvin.
Look at Alvin moving, man.
Uh-huh.
Far beyond. Okay, Alvin.
I
Far
see you,
beyond.
Alvin.
Damn, Alvin, where'd you get those? Yeah, capable of reaching depths far beyond those of the Titan. Um, and the Navy helped recover and bring home the bodies of the crew.
Mm,
That's interesting. Is
yeah, it
this
is interesting.
is this right? I
It
haven't
is
read that anywhere. So well,
interesting. I don't know about that one. I mean, I heard something about like at the depths that they were at, the bodies would have been mummified or something similar to that. Strangely,
yeah, covered in a lot of stuff that just floats around at the bottom of the ocean down there.
yeah,
Um, well, I would love to hear what other thoughts you have on this.
caught me at the wrong time. um,
What were you trading stocks or something? Like,
no, I was having a nice little cough there.
oh, nice. This is actually impressive how you mute it just in time. Okay.
Yeah, just a small tickle in my throat, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy that one that we have the um accurate enough technology for us to tell exactly when it happened, as well as like technology to go to have unmanned subs, right? To go down, check it out, see what's going on, and then also now we don't know exactly if this portion of it is true. It is coming from our Chat GBT friend, which sometimes does have a hard time of embellishing a little bit, but
I don't think it was embellishing. I think it had a glitch in the matrix.
okay.
Yeah.
But even if we go outside of that, like it's kind of crazy that we have um just the technology to do that in general, and it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, we've already talked about this before, but what kind of other technologies that we have at our disposal, um if push comes to shove, right? um but it also, the other thing that interests me is the fact that um what interests me is just how like different types of subs that we already have, considering the amount of depth that it can go down to and stuff like that. Like you already talked about James Cameron sub. We had that naval sub that went down to the Marianas Trench. So these are depths that are like way below
Yeah.
um what where the Titan sub went down to, and yet the and yet the Titan sub wasn't able to withstand this. I'm sure there's some sort of malfunction or something like that we missed, but it's kind of interesting to think that there weren't other safety precautions in there. I remember hearing um or reading a couple articles that had said that it was supposed to have numerous fail safes just in case something happened. It has this and this, but then I have other things that come out that were contradicting that. So it's like there's a lot of inconsistencies in a lot of the stories that I've been hearing. So um it's been interesting to see how this whole thing has unfolded, as well as like the choice when it comes to the submarine that you want to trust, right? For these billionaires to trust
Well, yeah. Um, I agree with one of the parts you said, especially that stood out to me is doing the research that we've done live during the show. There are so many different types of submersible vessels, and it seems like the ones with people in them go deeper than the ones without people in them. Which I get how the unmanned ones can still be helpful, of course. With things like the wreckage of the Titanic,
in. Mm-hmm.
they can still search through there with minimal risk if they get trapped. You know,
Yeah.
but But with that said, I mean, man, I am still surprised that we don't use them for deeper missions. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think there's so much more to come from this.
Mhm.
Um, because the next part of it is going to be recovering everything
Oh yeah.
uh, and analyzing it, which is going to be really interesting. I don't know much about like camera placement and things like that on the sub sensors, all that kind of stuff. But what if they have an external camera that survived the implosion, right?
Mm. That would be interesting.
It would be. As
I'd
long, I
love
mean,
to
I,
see that.
I don't want to see one that shows bodies floating through the ocean.
Well,
Obviously, I'm not saying
yeah.
that.
No, I don't want to see that, but I would love to see
If they're
maybe give us some more context into what happened. You know?
right, right. I want to see if there's anything specific that triggered this to happen.
Yep. Exactly.
Doesn't have to. Certainly doesn't have to be because it could just be as simple as the ocean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
Um, the commotion in the ocean, um, but yeah, I will say from a societal standpoint, covering all angles of this for sure. I've seen a ton of memes and a ton of TikTok videos, making fun of this situation. And man, I couldn't get on board with it, man. I just
Mm.
couldn't do it. I I understand like bringing light to a situation. To me, it's not that. And honestly, what I kept thinking was, I'm
Mhm.
always like, man, what if these people get saved? Come back to the surface. Is everyone like quick deleting everything they posted? I doubt it. So they're going to come back to the surface and just see a bunch of memes making fun of them.
Mhm.
And I was like, dude, I could never do that to somebody.
Yeah.
Um, the ones about the video game controller did kind of make me laugh because I was like, that is an actual situation that I feel like I would never be comfortable with inside a submarine.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I think I remember though hearing something about like that's kind of like for certain subs, it's kind of like a standard thing,
dude,
which
that's so
sounds
weird.
weird, but
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know. I couldn't do that. I think it's wild. And I mean, I saw this meme that was like, me gets mad at the game, throws the controller, and then it was like the four other people in the sub, and they're like,
oh my gosh.
but I mean, even that, I kind of cringe even sharing that joke. You know what I mean? So I don't
Mhm.
know. This was an interesting observation I had on society. Now, I will say, since having not worked in the news for a while
Mhm.
now, I really haven't been paying attention the last couple months as much as I used to, or really as much as I probably would like to, because I do like to stay up to date with these things.
Mhm.
But it was because of those constant memes that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check this out, man. So I'm glad I did,
Yeah. So it
but
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so in some ways I'll say in some ways at least it was a way for you to kind of become interested in the story, right? Or even bring some more knowledge on that. So there's that, right? But I get it. I'll say for me, it's kind of hard, and I think I'm more on the camp and of where I can understand the memes and stuff like that. I think it's the one of the biggest things is yes, it's terrible for the loss of human life, but I think the other part about it is when we see people who have so much um I guess in some ways it's kind of hard for us to really relate to them. And so it becomes one of those things that it's really hard for us to see them as people, um, rather than see them as, I mean, hey, first thing that you hear about is these are billionaires, right?
Yes.
Billionaires with a B, right? These are
Right.
people who've got, tons and tons of money. And so it becomes, I guess, for some people a little bit hard for you to disassociate their money from who they are as a person.
Sure.
Um Now I don't really know much about them. I don't think they were super duper extraordinary. I don't know if exactly if they were good people or not. But um, but I know that that can sometimes be a part of the deal there. Uh, Honestly, for my honest opinion, I kind of was a little bit yay or nay on it. Um, Not saying that I was like, "Oh, good, they're gone," but it was more along the lines of like it just became another story, and maybe it was something that um, it was just maybe it was just something that we encounter such different types of stimuli, sad stimuli, especially as of late, that it kind of didn't register the same.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely raise awareness to it, like you mentioned. I will say too, so I want to clarify what we discussed earlier. No bodies were found.
Mm,
No bodies were found. I'm not sure why ChatGPT told me that.
yep.
And I will say it's been glitching this whole time. It actually will not finish a single answer, and I think it's because, well, I guess I don't really know what's going on with it, but it keeps saying network error, so I'm not gonna hold that issue against it. But
Yeah.
for clarity, bodies, yeah, they actually say the bodies may never be recovered because of the nature of the implosion
Oh,
being
wow.
so violent. And then things at that depth being so unforgiving that they may already be covered up under the ocean,
Hmm.
which is crazy. But
That
also, it
is.
sounds like they could be in not intact, if you will. Um, and that's crazy to me. I mean, but in a way, and Dennis and I talked about this off camera, it actually makes me feel better in a way because not suffering like we assumed initially. We assumed they were suffering for 5 days and potentially could asphyxiate. Is a hard word to say.
Mhm.
Run out of breath. And what a painful way to go that would be. But
Mhm.
that's pretty instantaneous. You
Yep.
know, um, God, I couldn't even imagine. But hopefully painless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But what was recovered, uh, where'd that go? They've recovered several pieces. The tail cone, um, several other parts of it. So that's interesting. Um, but yeah, like we said earlier, the U.S. Navy questions have been raised, according to the Telegraph in the UK, over when the U.S. government became aware of the sub's implosion, as the Wall Street Journal reported that top secret U.S. Navy equipment detected the incident just hours after the Titan began its mission. The U.S. did not wish to reveal information about the sensitivity of its acoustic sensors by announcing the loss earlier.
Hmm.
Um, that's interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. There's something even more mind blowing about that technology that we don't even know.
Yeah. No,
That
you're right.
they use to know that. I think that, Telegraph is a tabloid in Britain, so I'm not really assuming that there's like people mad at the US government for not divulging that information earlier because it's top secret information. You know what I mean? And
Mhm. Exactly. It's on a
yeah,
need to know basis.
it really what I mean, what would it change? You're still going to do the whole search process regardless of if you thought was an implosion or not, So,
Yeah, no, you're right.
man, what a story. Anyway, I think we had a good discussion on this. Man, thank you guys for tuning in. We're so glad that you did, of course. Another Thursday Night Live, another episode, another week. We hope you enjoyed it. The story was everywhere and it had been on our hearts and our minds. And so we couldn't avoid talking about it. So we hope that you enjoyed it. We certainly did as well. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube to jump in the live streams with us at any time. It's the Catch Up Cast. I'm sorry, the Catch Up Podcast. Catch Up Cast is off on what we link a lot of stuff to. Anyway, Catch Up
Hmm.
Podcast. Just search it. You'll find us and give us a subscribe or give us a follow. And then jump in on the live streams with us. We want to hear your thoughts, your conversations,
Hmm.
and leave us a rating review. And if you want to support us, hit the link to our shop um, and get you some good, clean merch.
Good, clean.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch up with you next week.